Are you hearing me? Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I mean, I know you hear the words I'm saying to you, but do you understand what I mean underneath those words? Because ultimately, they're trying to communicate something. And so often, we as humans do not have the ability to understand what the other person is saying, because they may not have the verbal ability to communicate what they're saying. They may not be self-aware enough to know what they're actually saying, or it may be on us. It may be that I am completely incapable of understanding what's trying to be communicated. So if you're new here, I am Katrina, and I take care of my father who's cognitively declining, middle to advancing in his cognitive decline. We're a multi-generational family. My mother and I pitch hit and do it together. And I have a beautiful 13-and-a-half-year-old daughter who lives with us. And we do our best every day to take really good care of my father. And some days that's easier than others. But yesterday we had a really interesting interaction. My father came out and he was obsessed, which happens in cognitive decline. It can also happen with traumatic brain injuries. It can happen with regular people too. But it's something that really does come with cognitive decline, is these obsessive moments of just complete fixation. And so my father came out of the room and he was completely fixated on his miracle. He is praying for his miracle. He is going to get his miracle, and God is going to give him his miracle. And his miracle would be that he isn't going to lose his hearing, and that he isn't going to die. And my father has just turned 75, and the reality is he is most likely going to lose his hearing because he has a schwannoma that's growing on his cochlear nerve. He is going to lose his hearing at some point. It's just kind of what it is. And we could do medical intervention that would include like a head surgery where they cut open the skull. And with his cognitive decline, that would actually only advance his cognitive decline. Plus, we went through a head surgery with my mom in 2009, and with her sinus cancer, and we just are really aware of what that means recovery wise. And it really would not be a good idea for him. He's not a good candidate, and the doctor straight out said that he's not a good candidate. And so he comes out and he's totally obsessed. I have to have my miracle. I am going to be healed, and I'm going to live. And my mother was like, in the moment, my mom didn't know how to receive this information. And, not that we aren't a family that believes in miracle. My mother is a walking miracle. But my father is fighting this idea that he is going to leave this earth. He knows Jesus. He's going to go meet Jesus. But there's something about it that still just scares him to the point that he really fights it. And it's hard. And in the midst of it, my mom kind of reared up and she's like, Michael, as she does. And I, as I do, stepped in and was like, hey, Mom, just hold on. Let me talk to Dad. And in that moment, I was able to try to get to the root of what he was actually saying. She was stuck on, he's going to live forever and he's not going to lose his hearing. And she wanted to reality check him, which tools in the toolbox. That's never the way to approach that. When you're dealing with somebody who is cognitively declining, one of the best things you can do is you can just agree with them when they're in the midst of that kind of obsessive moment. Reality checks, I know I still want to do it after over 10 years of long-term care experience. I still want to give him a reality check at times. It's not helpful. So choosing not to do it is just a better option. But in that moment, I tried to just simmer us all down, and I tried to get to the root of what he was trying to say. And what really felt like the root of what he was trying to say is that he is scared that he's losing his hearing permanently, and he is scared to die. And so it's learning to be okay with sitting in the midst of that conversation. And again, I'm really lucky. I worked in a care facility that was owned by a bunch of nuns, and I was allowed to have these conversations at work and not get fired. They were awesome. Love those nuns. But I've had these conversations with people at the end of their life where they're really trying to assess their life and where they're going and what the future holds for them. And so in that moment, I sat there with my dad and I tried to hear his really, really the core tenets of what he was trying to say. And I tried to assure him that ultimately he knows Jesus and he's going to go home. And when he goes home, he's going to be able to hear everything. He is not going to be in lack like he is right now. He is lacking so many abilities. At this point, we have to assist him with his showers. We have to come behind him and assist him with other ADLs, activities of daily living. We have to make sure that that anything, like just simple things, like even washing his hands. My daughter has the best hearing of everybody in the house, and she'll be sitting in the family room and doing her schoolwork, and she'll be like, "Grandpa's water's on again." And so what it is he went in, washed his hands, and he washed his hands. So yay! But then he left the water on. And it's something that's starting to happen regularly. And so we all are just kind of on high alert. If my child hears it, either grandma or we go in there and we get the water turned off. Like it's not a thing. It's not like, hey, you need to do this. That's not going to help. He doesn't remember. So you have to, one of the hardest parts of this is you have to remember that they are not doing this on purpose. They are doing this because they don't remember. So it doesn't matter how many times you remind them that they have to do it this certain way. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You have to offer them grace, love, and mercy, and you have to offer them kindness in the midst of it. And you have to be accepting and understanding that this is not something that's being done on purpose. This is not something that's being done to you to make you mad. This is something that is being done because they don't remember, and that's why they need help. And I would like to think yesterday when we had this conversation that I was able to again meet his need and soothe his spirit and his soul a little bit. And it did. He came down, he de-escalated rather quickly, and he walked away. He walked away on his own. He's like, "Okay, thank you, I'm done." And he went to his room, and I think he went and he thought about it. And I share this with you because I want you to be aware. And I want you to not just hear the person you're caring for, whether it's somebody with cognitive decline, whether it's your kid, whether it's your husband, whether it's your parents. I want you to actually hear the root of what they are trying to tell you. Hear the base of it. And that takes sitting down, listening. And when you're listening, like trying to remove yourself from the conversation. And knowing the person to try to be like, "Hey, where are we going with this? What are you actually saying to me?" And asking leading questions. Don't fill in the blank. Ask the leading question. Ask the question that's like, "Explain that more to me." Or, "I don't understand. Can you please explain it differently?" Ask the question. Questions. Sometimes, this conversation went on for a good hour. And so it's one of those things where I had to really engage. So I encourage you, this is another tool in that toolbox, to learn to truly listen. While you're listening, I encourage you to be open. I encourage you to remove yourself, and I encourage you to try to meet the needs of the person in front of you. I hope that this has met your spirit today, that you have heard it, You've heard the intention and not just the words. And that you go out into the world and you use this. That you go out into the world and you overflow with love, joy, and kindness to the people in your life, whether they are those people that you run into at the store, or whether it's your family member, or whether it's that person you're caring for, or that person at work that drives you absolutely crazy. You don't know what's going on in their life. Try to be present for the people in your life. And if we do that, if we are able to be successful, and I have shared that I am not successful all the time. I fail quite often. But thankfully, I truly believe I succeed more than I fail. And that's the amazing part. That's the part where we can shift the world if we choose to. But we have to choose to. So go out in the world and choose it today. Choose to be an active listener. Choose to hear the root of the issue. Choose to be present for somebody. Change the world one person at a time.